Hello and welcome to the Tangent Zone. You have your hosts, Ricky and Chris, and then the guy that they drug off the street is me, Terrell.
Here we go.
We're here to talk about Black Widow review, which is a movie that just recently came out. That's the newest of the MCU properties. We also will talk a little bit about things that have either been going on in our lives or things that have been going on in the world in general.
Works. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what we do.
What's everybody been up to? Terrell, what's going on with your world?
I've been enjoying a few things. I have still been painting. Always painting minis, and I've also been playing Neon Abyss, which I did not realize I would get addicted to like I did. And then another game called Carrion, which is pretty fun. You basically are like this space mutant thing that comes in and eats people. It's like a reverse horror movie, which is really dope. But I'm trying to stick to my guns and finish Octopath Traveler. I need to finish one of these games, and this has to be it.
We got to get some pictures of one of your paintings, your little minis.
Oh, I have them on my Instagram actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So now promote Terrell's Instagram in the description of this video. All right. So Ricky, what have you been up to?
Well, I had the tournament. I came in fourth. It was
Okay.
that. Lost twice. It didn't go as planned. My first one. Other than that, recently, got to actually watch Fear Street, all three parts of that. I know that's been kind of a big thing going around. You know, people have been talking about. I don't know, did you either of you guys seen Fear Street or know what that was about? So basically, it was it's based off of the R.L. Stine books, Fear Street, which I didn't know he didn't do anything besides Goosebumps.
I didn't know that.
But
either.
it's definitely more of a mature horror series or whatever. But it's 3 films released by Netflix over 3 weeks. So you had part 1, part 2, and part 3, and all 3 of them take place in different time periods, and it all connects by the end. First one I thought was okay. Like it was pretty solid. I loved the second one. Didn't really care for the third one too much, but I love the idea of that. Of like the first one takes place in like 94, second one is like 82, and then the third one's 1666.
Oh.
And they really the 666. They kind of have a little on the nose, but there's a lot of lore behind it. So that's maybe I want to see more, like, cause like apparently this town is like cursed. It's like the murder capital of like the world, and not like, you know, like people are just getting shot. Like no, like people like go crazy and just start, you know, killing people, like mass like slasher type deals. Mm-hmm. So it's like every like so often that just happens. Like not even like a couple years. It's like every couple months, like somebody just goes crazy and just starts stabbing kids at a high school. Like yeah. So you get 3 parts. You get 3 different stories of how that went. I think a lot of it was actually pretty solid. There's actually a couple people that are in there that are from other Netflix properties, which I thought was pretty cool. Which I mean, yeah, they got those people just sitting around not doing anything right now. But
just like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I know. I just want to throw us in Fear Street. I would gladly get stabbed on camera. I'm just throwing it out there. You know.
For money.
Obviously.
Yeah.
For money.
I'm so glad that you warned me, because you said, you know, Goosebumps, you know, R.L. Stine. I'm like, yeah, sure, my daughter loves Goosebumps. Oh, this isn't for kids.
No.
Don't show my child that.
No, there's a couple. I mean, it's very gruesome, and there's a couple sex scenes.
Yeah.
But
perfect for kids.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I was at a bowling alley last week, and they were playing WAP, so I guess.
Oh, good God.
I guess there's that.
That's just not even a good song. Let's not pretend that that's a good song.
Well, there were little kids all over the place, and they're just playing that on the whole thing, you know, within the whole place. So that was kind of a weird day.
I imagine. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I know there was another movie I saw recently. Oh, I did see Godzilla vs. Kong finally.
That was good. I liked that. You haven't seen it?
No.
I liked it, which I think I might have talked about this last week on the episode. I liked it, but what I didn't like is what everybody doesn't like with the King Kong or Godzilla movies. It's the story with the people.
Yeah.
So just know going
too
in.
many people involved.
You just know going in, there's gonna be a story you're just not gonna care about.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's going into every movie. As soon as like I don't care about this.
Right.
Yeah,
This does not interest
The
me.
beginning of it was pretty good, but
Yeah.
it was okay. Well, no, I'm thinking of the beginning of Godzilla 2, but Godzilla versus Kong, I think, was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, without going into because Toro, because you haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna spoil anything with it. Just by the ending of that film, I honestly don't know where the hell they go from there because I think Godzilla they kind of, you know, busted their nut a little early with the second one by throwing everybody in there.
Yeah, but the problem with Godzilla 2 is the ending of that didn't go anywhere. At least not anywhere you think it was gonna go. Because like right after Godzilla 2, they made Godzilla versus Kong, and it didn't directly influence the storyline like one bit. Whole group of new humans that had nothing to do with each other. You kind of just had to guess what was going on with Kong, because Kong Skull Island was based in what, like the 60s?
I think it was the 60s around Vietnam.
Like
time.
It was just after Vietnam because that was the whole thing. They were coming back.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson, they were coming back.
Yeah,
from war.
so it was kind of like based off of that time period. So it didn't really directly include that. You just kind of had to guess on what they were going off of, and then they just had a whole little sci-fi thing to it. The whole Hollow Earth thing felt a little too sci-fi for a monster movie.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, a magical area inside the center of the Earth that they had to go through. They had to travel through a portal to get to. But Godzilla can just point to the ground and just dead center right in Hollow Earth from where he was standing in Tokyo. I don't know. The landscape of the entire idea didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry for the spoilers, Terrell.
It's all good.
It's just one of those things. I think I do give action movies a little bit too much of a pass sometimes when it comes to certain things, but it's a Godzilla, King Kong.
What did you expect?
I mean, you're not going for the depth of the story is just that's not.
I don't know.
I just want to see them fight. Let's see the action. That's what I'm here for.
I don't want to hear the labor. I just want to see the baby.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah, I guess that's how you go.
Other than that, the Snake Eyes trailer has been out, which I know we were just talking about that a little bit. I hate that trailer. I hate that so much because it's just not Snake Eyes. Like, it looks like a fun action movie, which I'm okay with it being a fun action movie. It's not Snake Eyes. They just they did what the Joker did to me. Was we're going to make a movie that's just about this thing, and we're just going to throw this character's name on top of it and say that's what it is when it's not.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer, and I'm like I just said, isn't Snake Eyes like a mysterious figure, doesn't talk?
Yeah, he doesn't talk. He took a code of silence. I believe his face gets scarred up, too. It's one of the reasons why he wears the mask. He doesn't talk. And this guy just, charismatic, happy, that's people like, well, it's the origin story. Snake Eyes doesn't need an origin story. It's already there. Like, I believe it was the first G.I. Joe. It showed like a less than a minute flashback of just him and Storm Shadow as kids. The Master dies. Storm Shadow takes off. He takes the code of silence.
So he takes
and
his
they're
code of silence
rivals.
as a kid.
I believe it. Yeah. And at least in that film, it was a
in the new
kid.
Snake Eyes movie, he's like
30 years old. Yeah.
Talking.
Yeah. Goofing around. I'm like, this is just it's not Snake Eyes.
No, you should have saved this for another Deadpool or something.
Yeah, you took the badass and most well-known character out of the entire G.I. Joe franchise. Give him his own movie, but not have him be at all what he is.
That's kind of how I felt like about David Harbour's Hellboy.
I didn't actually see that.
You never saw that? Oh,
No.
That's okay.
Okay.
I
love the first two, and I just never made it around.
Perlman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also Guillermo del Toro. I don't think he actually has made a bad film.
No, Ron Perlman's Hellboy was perfect.
Right.
David Harbour turned him to a college student with...
God damn
I mean, you know how David Harbour's personality is when he tries to get into a comedian. He's a good comedian. He's funny. I'll give it that, but he was no Hellboy. His makeup didn't look that good either. Like, halfway through the movie, it looks like it's falling off his face.
Oh, good lord. And that's sad, because we've gotten so much better at that.
Now, they tried to go with a more comic book accurate monster look. Like, all the monsters look probably what they look like out of the comic books, but the style the comic book had was cartoony. So all the CGI monsters that he fights are really cartoony. They're just, it's like how Jar Jar Binks looks to the rest of the Star Wars characters.
It's completely out of place.
Yeah, they all look out of place. They got good effects, but the CGI is just bad. And like I said, like his personality is like a college student compared to. He's supposed to be what, this 100-year-old immortal demon with just this badass style to him, and he doesn't. He's not supposed to have as much charisma as David Harbour gives him. I mean, it is. If it wasn't a Hellboy movie, it was a good movie. But as a Hellboy movie, it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah. Which, the thing is, I don't mind, like, we gotta take some liberties with some characters, depending on how many iterations you have of, like, we are on our third Spider-Man, so we can't just rehash the exact same old, story over and over. You gotta change it up a little bit, but it becomes to a point, especially a well-known character, where you just completely take everything that is that character away and just put it determined into something else. Like, if it's, like, a not as well-known character, I don't mind changing up, doing something new with it, but it's like that well-known character. I think the best, at least I can think of, is actually in Black Panther, Manape, who he doesn't go by that in the film, thank God. He's not that character at all in the comics. Like, he's a true villain to Black Panther, which they made M'Baku. M'Baku, yeah, where he's completely different. That's okay, because that's...
They made it work. They made it work because... I feel like if he was a major villain, he would overshadow the main villain of the movie.
Yeah, but as I said, they changed up almost his character almost completely, and it works for film, which I'm okay with. I don't mind.
He's like, it was more like he was going to be set up as a villain because he challenged Black Panther in the beginning and lost. After that, it was all respect.
Yeah.
It was, you beat me, I respect you kind of deal, and which was fine. I liked that. It worked.
So I said liberties are good, but for certain characters, you have to at least stick to that formula of what that character is, especially if it's the main guy.
Just adhere to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Better than, I don't know. That's my issue with Ready Player One right there.
The Ready Player One's a good movie. Yes, I didn't read the book. Hey, it showed Gundam.
I can't do it. I cannot do that.
Yeah. Hey, I got to see my Gundam live action. As much as I'm not a mech guy. I love my G Gundam. That's about it. But I got to see one of those on screen, so no one can ever say that it does not work.
They're in the book, too. You even get Spider-Man's mech that he has. He's in that book, too.
Gotcha. Well, Chris, what have you been up to?
Well, see, last weekend I went to Indie PopCon, and it was kind of fun. We had a lot going on over there. And, oh, that's why. It's fine. I could probably hear myself just fine. Can you hear yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I'm all good.
I can hear you, so it's
Okay.
good. I just didn't see the light, but that's your.
Yeah.
You're here. Me and Sorrel are here.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
Yeah, can you hear me at all?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, then that's good.
I can.
Can I be heard by both of you?
Yeah.
I just didn't see the light going on. That's all.
Okay.
All right.
That's good. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, technical
man.
difficulty. Yeah.
So I just went to Indie PopCon last weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana, and that was pretty fun. It was like the first Comic-Con of the year since everything's gone down, the whole pandemic and whatnot. So it was actually really exciting. It was like any normal Comic-Con, one of the celebrities I actually got to meet over there was Emily Swallow, who plays. I know her from two things. She was the armorer in Mandalorian.
Okay.
And she made Mando's armor, and she was also a big villain in Supernatural, known as the Darkness. And we actually got a picture with her My girlfriend got an autograph, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, that was about it. Nothing really exciting over there. Yeah. Had a good time all in all. Got to walk around the streets of Indianapolis, like downtown Indianapolis and everything.
Yeah, how was that? I've not been there since I was like 5 years old.
It's not bad, you know. It's one of those big city types. A lot of traffic, whatever. Reminded me of the times I've been to Chicago. You know, it's pretty cool. Like 4 or 5 of their buildings though are like connected, so they have like what they call, I want to say it was called a sky bridge, or something. So just above the street, you could walk from one building to another. So our hotel was literally connected to the building holding the PopCon.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get any cool pops?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, they call it PopCon, but I mean, it was more Comic-Con than anything else.
No, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly don't need any more pops in my house.
Yeah, me neither. We have too many Baby Yodas. Funny thing is my girlfriend was going through, like, she's got a whole container full of pop figures, and she was going through them, and she hands me one, because we've got a fire pit in our backyard. We have paper bags that are for burn pile. So she hands me this pop and says, put this in the burn pile. It was Mira from the Aquaman movie.
Oh.
You know, so.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll throw that in the burn pile. I don't mind burning that.
Yeah. Much I love that film. Yeah, that kind of.
Yeah. She only bought, I think when Aquaman came out, she only bought the pops because she thought they were pretty, or whatever. So, but now after all the hot controversies have gone down, whatever.
That's understandable.
Yeah, it was like, so now it's part of the burn pile. I'll burn it next to fire pit. Fire, I get going.
Definitely.
What is going on with Aquaman 2?
I don't know.
I heard Emilia Clarke was supposed to play Mariner.
Well, that was the
that was
internet
whole thing.
wanted
The internet
that.
wanted Emilia Clarke to replace Amber Heard as Mira, which I'm fine with. But then they're keeping Amber Heard. She still has her job. And as far as I know, I guess they were delayed due to the pandemic, but as far as I know, they're still going. I'd have to look up if they got a due date going on. Let's see here. Aquaman 2. Yeah, that's set to come out in 2022.
With the same cast, even?
Yeah, same cast.
No.
No.
Are you on IMDb? To figure out who the villain is?
No, I just popped up Google. I mean, I could pop up. It's called
just
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Oh, I was just gonna say Black Manta because I mean Aquaman really got the 2 villains.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they already did the Trench, so he kind of like knocked off like 3 villains in like the first movie, and it's like, oh, he doesn't have like a huge.
Well, who is the Trench?
Those are the monsters, the creatures.
Oh, that was the creature. Okay.
That comes from the comic.
But he teamed up with that, so.
Yeah, that comes from the comic. What is his name? Oh man, he was the dude who was like in charge of Green Lantern for years. Jeff Johns. He did Aquaman for a while, and like his first volume of it is The Trench. And that's he actually brought kind of Aquaman back into like being taken serious with that. So I mean, hopefully it comes out. Like I said, I know the whole people want Emilia Clarke, but my opinion on her is somehow the longer she's been an actress, to me she's gotten worse. The longer she's been.
Well, that's only because the last season of Game of Thrones was kind of a train wreck.
Not only that, she hasn't been any good in any good movies either.
Right, like
she doesn't have that to fall back on. Like, oh, it's just that was bad writing, because she's been in other films and those were also bad writing. But it was like,
That's kind of how I feel about where I'm like an outlier, because I kind of enjoyed that Terminator.
I didn't see it.
Genesis. I mean, but at the same time, I still like Terminator, and she was in there, and I think it was pretty good, but at the same time, I can understand why people did not.
Terminator is one of those franchises. Me, I was good by the third one. I didn't really need anything past that.
Man, I saw that on a flight to do Bahrain, actually, and I was like, man.
Oh, it's not good. I mean, the second one it peaks at number. Terminator peaks at number 2.
Yeah, I mean it gets better, but I mean there's definitely some valleys to there.
I haven't seen the new Terminator. What was it?
It was Genesis. That was the newest one.
No, Dark Fate.
One. That was based off of 2 or rewrote 2.
Yeah, Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. Yeah.
Oh, I have literally no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, there was a new Terminator movie called Terminator Dark Fate that was supposed to, with time travel, rewrite Terminator 2, but it didn't do it right and it kind of tanked.
Is that the one with the older Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I do know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
My thing
and
on
the original actress who played Sarah Connor too.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton.
My thing on like 80s franchises, I've tried to go back and like, I mean, I like The Predator, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But Karate Kid, I'm good with that. But a lot of those, like, I tried to watch RoboCop. Just not.
The first RoboCop was good.
It was the first one, and I couldn't even get through it. I got like almost probably like 70% through it, and I just kind of like, okay, I'm bored. I'm gonna go watch something else.
I'd buy that for $1. I was saying that shit all the way through high school.
I liked the first RoboCop.
It wasn't bad. But I was like, I don't see, this is not the series for me. Like it didn't hook me. I didn't, because even like as I'm finishing, I'm like, there's no way I'd be watching a second one of this.
Well, then don't watch the television show then.
Second one's not as good.
Yeah, I think every movie after the first one's not that good.
Don't watch that TV show then.
I did. God, yeah, they did have a TV show, didn't they?
I did watch back to back. I remember I watched the new RoboCop, the RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
And then I watched the original RoboCop 1 and RoboCop 2. The first one's the best. It's better than the remake, and it's better than 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur. Like I still kind of like what they did with the remake, but.
I liked what they did too. They made him a little more mobile. I just think the story wasn't there.
Right. Like it doesn't touch.
They went too far in depth of the technology they used. Like I didn't like the villain. Like I don't know. The fact that he was literally programmed to where he couldn't kill the villain just kind of didn't work for me. I guess he had to like struggle with straight willpower to shoot the guy, and he ended up doing it, but I don't know. It seemed a little odd.
Yeah. We also miss all those Gerber feeding sessions that they did in that first movie.
Yeah.
Where he was getting fed all that baby food.
Forgot about that.
And then he threw him a birthday party and got drunk.
Yeah.
And the co-ed co-ed shower scenes too.
It's been a while since I've seen those movies.
Another staple out of Starship Troopers that everyone talks about.
I've seen that movie once. I love that movie. I want to watch it again.
There's like 3 or 4 of them, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I only knew the one.
Yeah, for the longest I'd only seen the first one, and then I went and I saw like a trailer for the dude that played Rico in like this new version, and I'm like, holy crap, how many of these are there?
That's kind of how I felt with the 1990s Ninja Turtle movies. The longest time.
Whoa, tread lightly here, buddy.
Hear me out. I didn't say anything bad yet. So for the longest time growing up, I only watched that one movie, the first one, again and again. I love that movie. And I only thought that was the only movie they made. Until about like 7th or 8th grade, I remember a teacher was like, oh, let's have a marathon for like the last couple weeks of school because we had nothing going on. He plays all 4 Ninja Turtle movies, 2, 3, and 4, and my mind was blown. I had no idea these movies were made. I only thought it was the one. But man, my 12-year-old, 13-year-old mind was just blown. I was like, what? There's more of these? Why didn't I know this?
I need to go back to those movies.
Yeah, I need to. The second one wasn't as good.
Those are the best ones.
No. I mean, second one's not as good. Third one's kind of trash. Was the third one where they go back in time?
That's the Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
I thought the fourth one was Turtles in Time.
The fourth one was the TMNT, the one that came out in 2007, the animated one.
Wait, maybe there was just 3 movies I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they had the first one that was a little bit gritty and was closer to the comic books.
Yeah.
The second one, and then Turtles in Time.
The Secret of the Ooze and that.
Okay, so there was only 3. I thought there was 4.
But then you might have been, because I want to say 2007 was the one where they came out with that
And I know the one that was actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
That's when I think was it like Artifact or something they brought back from like China or some shit. It might have been Japan, and then it took over something. I remember watching it. I remember watching it as a kid. It was actually pretty good. I need to go back and rewatch those movies. I got like halfway through the Michael Bay one, and I never went back. Once I saw the girl who was supposed to be Megan Fox, she was younger, like pick the turtles up, just like set them in the sewer. I was already like not into the movie, and at a certain point I'm like, I don't care. I don't. This is not gonna go where I'm thinking this is gonna go.
That first Michael Bay one was like, I want to watch the second one. At the same time, it doesn't sound good.
No.
I mean, they introduced Casey Jones, which is something you're not, but it's Stephen Amell, an actor whose personality. I mean, he's a good actor in Arrow, but even then they had to change Arrow's personality. And his personality, that of the character he normally plays, is not Casey Jones. No.
Which is weird. Like him in real life, he's like he actually has like personalities. Like, but when every time he acts, it's like he gets the role that's like, hey, the cool stuff. You guys take that away. I need you to just be as bland as possible. There you go.
And that's literally like every movie you've seen him in.
Yep.
Or every show. And I feel bad for them. I mean, he was, like I said, it worked in Arrow. The first couple seasons he had charisma. Yeah. And after that he kind of just stoned up. And he's just, the stiff army jock type.
Yeah, that show was so like, hey, we can't afford to do Batman, so we're just going to do Green Arrow. And that's what that show was.
We're going to make him Batman.
Yeah.
And then we're going to introduce Batman later to outshadow him and then just kill Arrow off. I don't know.
Just, continues just being Batman, just ruining everything.
Although the first 2 seasons were the best. Even though they completely rewrote Deathstroke.
That's where I stopped watching, was the end of season 2. Once we got Deathstroke, because Deathstroke was great until we got his reasoning behind. I was out. I've never jumped off a ship so fast.
I wasn't that disappointed. The entire rewritten story of Deathstroke and the Australian thing, the actor who played him was perfect. He got that personality down. I was on board with that new storyline. Yeah. And like you said, all because of Shadow did make sense.
Hey, this chick that I kind of like, that likes this other dude, gets killed, and it's somewhat his fault, so I'm just going to kill that guy and destroy his entire family.
I'm going to kill his mom.
Yeah, that's it. That was his reasoning.
Yeah,
it was a weird love story. Not even like his girlfriend. That's like this chick he likes, but from afar. Yeah. Who likes this other dude? Who's banging this other dude? Who happens to be Green Arrow, and then she dies. And Green Arrow couldn't save her, and so I'm just gonna kill him and his entire family.
I'm gonna kill him because when I was in a super soldier serum berserker rage, he stabbed me in the eye, so I gotta do an eye for an eye and kill his mom.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was Deathstroke.
He stabbed me in the eye because this girl he was banging that I liked died, and it's his fault. And I was so mad and so uncontrollably Hulk raged from the serum I was addicted to, basically heroin, that I tried to kill him myself out of rage, and he, in self-defense, stabbed me in the eye, left me for dead on this island, and so I killed his mom.
Well, speaking of the whole Deathstroke thing, when did that craze pop up?
The character, I still think though the actor in that was good for that character.
Oh yeah,
his personality was on point.
Well, it's
everything about him was perfect.
It was
just that backstory.
But when was the whole Deathstroke? Was that from Arkham City? Is that when because Deathstroke has always been around, but no one really he's a Teen Titans villain. Don't let everybody fool you that he's a Batman villain, because he's not.
He's Teen Titans.
He's Teen Titans.
And Arrow kind of falls into that category.
Because he was wanting to be Batman.
Green Arrow, I think in the comics has some affiliation with Teen Titans, and Deathstroke was
his Speedy was on that team and all that.
Speaking of heroin.
But I know, right? Jeez, I forgot. Way to bring that around.
Yeah.
I did.
That show had a lot of drug addictions. Issues and stuff.
But no, I want to say it was one of the Batman games. All of a sudden, he became this Batman villain, and then he's just in everything, and everybody just loves Deathstroke. I'm like,
he's not a Batman villain.
He's not. Well, I think
Teen Titans played him off perfectly. It's just Slade.
Yeah, I think it was the Arkham City. I believe he appears in there, and then all of a sudden this Deathstroke like phase happened with DC where everybody wanted Deathstroke and everything. Like at the end of was it the Justice League where he shows up at the end. Oh my God, Deathstroke! I'm like,
he shouldn't be here.
No, not at all. And he just became.
He's not even the guy that Lex Luthor hires.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I feel like the Justice League movie, at least Joss Whedon's, put Deathstroke at a level below to where he actually is. Like, he's a major villain.
Mm-hmm.
He's in charge of things that putting the Teen Titans, or like just at least make the Teen Titans' lives harder. And like he actually runs his own thing. And having Lex Luthor try to team up with him or at least hire him in some way just felt off to me.
Yeah, I think they kind of pushed him too hard, and everybody just became like really backing him. I was like, oh, okay, like he's cool. Like I like him for Teen Titans, but it's just like, I don't know, if you take like, it'd be like Green Goblin, and then all of a sudden like making him like just an Avengers villain, when it's like, no, he's Spider-Man. Like, yeah, he
that would be like making
he has
Dr.
had
Octopus a major Avengers.
yeah, he has had issues with them, but no, like this is where he is. He's not there.
He's kind of an overarching villain, honestly.
Oh yeah, Osborn.
He's got the potential to be, but
Doesn't
not
he
at that level.
the Dark Avengers?
He does, but that's just more of like he gets in charge of it through like politics and that. But he's still, you wouldn't call him an Avengers villain though. He's still Spider-Man. That's the personal story.
Right. He's still pretty
No, he's still important, but it's insane. But he's still. You never looked at him like, oh man, one of the Avengers' biggest villains, Norman Osborn. It's like, no, that's still Spider-Man.
That's because like in the grand scheme of things, even though Spider-Man is as great as he is, he's kind of dwarfed when it comes to everybody else in the Avengers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost like having a Batman villain fight Superman or anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's like the whole Injustice storyline was That's when that time Joker tried to attack Superman instead of Batman and got his hand through his chest, and then Superman became the dictator of the world.
Yeah,
I think. Well, didn't
Joker?
Joker?
Murdered Lois Lane.
Yeah, Joker murdered Lois Lane.
This is why we don't cross hero villain.
It doesn't work.
That's why.
Because Batman villains only work for Batman. Same as Spider-Man villains
only work for Superman. And when you have a Batman villain, like go after Superman. Superman becomes the new big villain. I guess it's just the rule of things.
That's what tells you not to piss off a Kryptonian. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, we knew that.
What did he think was gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
He thought he'd just be like Batman, just put him in an insane asylum. With that's worked out, not at all.
Yeah, he's Clark. He's Batman's friend. He's not gonna kill all.
Right.
All. I made that mistake.
Right. Like, how many beats do you think he got to see his heart, pumping? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing too with the Joker is why I say he only works for Batman. Let's just say, because I can't think of someone off the top of my head in DC that's more of an anti-hero. Okay.
Rorschach.
Yeah, well, in DC, but I was gonna say Red Skull. I mean, Red Hood, but what I was just about to say doesn't really match that because
Red Hood. So that would be like.
But it'd be like
Manta.
I was gonna say.
After it attacked Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Or if Ares went and attacked Aquaman for some reason.
Yeah. I was gonna say if like Joker like took on like a real like anti-hero, let's just say like someone like Punisher-esque, Punisher against someone like Joker, Punisher's gonna shoot him in the head and just call it a fucking day. Like he's not gonna try to. That's why he doesn't work by switching different things. That's why Punisher doesn't really have any villains. Cause he just is done over.
Kills him. He doesn't have time for villains.
Yeah. Listen, so if he actually took on, I don't know, a hero that wouldn't really have an issue with killing. Yeah, I don't see. He's not lasting.
I'm telling you, I got Rorschach in my pocket here.
I mean, I love Rorschach. He's a complete piece of shit, but I love Rorschach. That was the whole Alan Moore interview when after that movie came out and people were talking about how much they love Rorschach. He's like, you're not supposed to like him. He's a real piece of shit. And I was like, yeah, he is. I accept it. I still like him, but there's people like, oh no, he's a cool guy. I'm like, no, he's not.
I'm not gonna model my life after this.
No, fuck no.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
It's also like with those Joker fans as well. Like, oh man, Joker so cool. I'm like, he's
Joker
a piece of
came
shit.
out and I'm like, that's how I want to live. That is not how you want to live.
No,
I'm not gonna go on Conan O'Brien and shoot him in the head because I'm crazy. No.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
had
Well,
fun
apparently
with that
Joker
movie.
too. I heard a rumor that the real Joker would appear. That Arthur Fleck is not the real Joker, but an inspiration of what the Joker becomes. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's Joker.
I mean, it is the '80s too, so I mean, it's it's Joker. Joker is Joker. I think that adds to the mystery though, is that he's not necessarily a one guy. He could just be a legacy title.
Yeah. That's what makes it better.
Yeah.
That's one thing why I was against that Joker film. Like, there's a mystery behind the Joker that I don't need to be answered. He works out better not knowing. Mm-hmm. So don't try to give him an origin story.
They try to give him an origin story, and it doesn't feel like it's Joker.
No. That's why I didn't want to see the film. I was like, I know what this film is, and everybody's like, "Whoa, the deeper understand what when it talks about society and stuff like that's not Joker. Joker honestly doesn't care. Ever since the Dark Knight, people are like, oh, he's got like this bigger issue with society. No, he just doesn't care. He's just a madman. He doesn't care. If someone dies, then they die. He's okay with that.
Exactly.
He's not trying to prove a point.
The dude poisoned a Boy Scout troop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if anyone cares less about society, I'd like to meet this guy.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the Joker.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my problems when they try to make him like, or at least his fans, or how they try to portray him. Like, oh yeah, he's just more bigger deal when it comes to like society and like how people are like, no, he just doesn't care. Right. The fact that you think he cares is
a problem.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
he doesn't. This guy has like no issue with this like shooting a kid like in the face and just laughing about it. Like he doesn't care.
He beat the crap out of Jason Todd.
Yeah, he was like 14, beat him to death with a pipe just to do it.
That was a crowbar.
Crowbar, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it still hurts right here.
Well, I mean, Jason Todd, down. He may have deserved it.
Look.
He's a douchebag, and he still is.
I can't stand you with this.
Okay, Nightwing was better. Just throwing it out there.
The Red Hood is the pinnacle. That's the top right there. Uh-huh. And then you got the rest of the Bat family.
Well, the Red Hood is like DC's Punisher,
but not as good.
Student.
But he couldn't kill the Joker.
Yeah, he's just a moody college student, while as Punisher is a moody army guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
Listen here.
Get off my damn lawn.
Yeah.
They're gonna have him played next time by Clint Eastwood.
The kid that they got playing him in that Titan show is not too bad. That show has other issues. Like casting was fine. Story is complete trash.
Dude, and CW has not had a good reputation in keeping up a good storyline.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't even CW. It was for their app, the DC app. Now it's on TNT, which I don't know how that's working out.
I'm just saying, CW superhero shows are just going downhill story-wise.
I saw the first episode of Superman and Lois. That's really good.
I heard that is good.
I only saw the one episode.
And the problem with that show is the fact that it outshadows everything. It is so good that people are now questioning why aren't the other shows this good.
Yep.
Like I said, Arrow had a good start. That went downhill.
Flash had a good start.
Had a great start. But now every season's the same. Barry lost his powers. How are we going to get it back this time? Sacrifices his powers to fight the villain? How are we going to get his powers back in the next season?
Fastest man on Earth and
seasons.
Gets like outran by like everybody. Yeah. And just at a certain point, just like, okay. You shouldn't be getting hit this much, dude.
He even gets outran by people who have no speed. I don't know. I liked The Flash, and I was keeping up with it, but at the same time, it just started to feel repetitive. DC's Legend of Tomorrow, I actually really like.
I enjoyed it for like the first 3 seasons because it knew what it was. By the time it figured out what it was, of just being more of like a comedy type deal, it was great. Yeah. But after seasons, I just kind of
they kind of ruined a lot of their character development for their heroes. Kind of ruined it for me, because they took a lot of characters and had some good character development. Then took a lot of characters to build up something just for the actors to quit. So they had to keep. Now they only have one original Legends character, and that's White Canary.
They got rid of Roy?
They got rid of everybody.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
He weirdly became the heart of that fucking team.
I haven't even seen the most recent season, but I keep reading things. Is that actor who played Rory? Mick Rory quit because something with the producers. I don't know. He didn't like the way his character was going, so they did something with his. I'm not caught up in the recent season. They took away Adam because he got married, and that actor, I guess his contract was up, whatever. They killed off Captain Cold right away, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, I liked his character development was so good, going from villain to hero, and then he's dead. And then what else? Well, although they keep bringing him back in the Flash as a multiverse version of him, which is fine, but it's not the original.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I think another thing that ruined the Flash was Flashpoint. I think they did that way wrong, much more wrong than they should have done.
Yeah, and that's becoming an issue.
They had all these characters they were developing, and now you know that every character you've ever seen in all the shows are not the same as they were originally. Mm-hmm. And now they're even less the same with the Crisis of Infinite Earths.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's something with the whole Flashpoint thing.
All their personalities are changing and not even developing as their own person. It's like they're just throwing an excuse to make them an entirely different character with the same name.
Oh, so like Carol in The Walking Dead, why I have issues with her. It's
really?
because
She's one of my favorites.
Well, no, here's the thing is, she's a great character. The problem is, we never saw any of the development. Because at the end of season 2, she's still like the timid, like mother, the timid housewife. So, then season 3 starts, she's a badass with the gun, which I'm like, okay, that's cool.
They did.
I just wish I would have saw that happen.
Yeah, they did a. They did a time jump. They
it was like 9 months between the seasons or something. Because Lori,
like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
The winter.
Yeah.
They completely skipped the winter, and everybody had development.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, she's a completely different character, and that got on my nerves so hard with that.
Yeah, no, I think what really showed her development was when they kicked her out of the camp, and she came back the next season blowing up a propane tank with a sniper rifle.
When that Terminus?
Saving everybody.
Yeah.
That was when I really started liking
it. And we ended on a cliffhanger for that.
I absolutely loved Carol when she did that. That was amazing.
It's really cool. I just wish we would have saw her become that, because that's better. The transition of a character like that, the timid, beaten housewife, to one of the biggest badasses in the show.
Yeah,
we just wrote a completely different character for her.
They could have easily dedicated a full episode to at least giving some groundwork for that.
Yeah, or just show some training.
Don't give us everything. Just give us enough that we can kind of piece it together.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying.
Like I said, I was rewatching Walking Dead, and we kind of stopped watching it.
I just started rewatching it yesterday. I got through like the first 4 episodes. I just wanted to watch like the first 2 seasons when I loved it.
Yeah, so it was really good in the first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What changes when they got to Alexandria? And halfway through Alexandria, the problem with The Walking Dead is they developed so many characters that they started dragging on the story. So one episode...
Too many episodes per season.
Yeah, that was the problem, was one episode
we had to fill time.
Of an entire hour... episodes are like an hour. So you get one episode of these 2 characters during this mini-like story going on, right? Where everybody's trying to get to a goal. These 2 characters are off doing this thing. Next episode, these 3 characters are doing this thing all at the same time. Next episode, these other 3 characters are doing this thing. It's not the whole group at once anymore.
Yeah.
And then they wait until they do all these little mini stories that drag on the main goal. Just drag it like you're dragging along a beaten person along a dirt road. You know, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like they just beat around the bush too
They
much.
also made the zombies like less scary.
They made them more predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It became to where, like, unless it was like 100 walkers coming at you, you didn't see it as a threat at a certain point.
No.
Which in the beginning, like just them running into like 2 or 3, it's still a big deal of, okay, we're gonna have to work to figure it out.
They started changing the layout of the show. Like in the first couple seasons, it was just the main group, every episode, doing something new. Yeah. Now it's 2 people of the main group doing something that involved, and then they kind of just almost copy Marvel in a way. It feels like, so you know how Marvel had Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Avengers, Incredible Hulk in there. The newer seasons of The Walking Dead feel like you got Daryl and Carol, and then all of a sudden these other 2 side characters, and then these other 2 side characters. Leading up to the season finale is when you finally see everybody work together, and that's what they're doing.
That's their end game.
Is essentially what they do every season now. The last 4 seasons.
Yeah, well, because some actors have had issues with it too. That's why like Maggie's gone for a little bit, and like, oh, Maggie will come back. I'm like,
and then
we're doing this.
Back.
I know Michonne. I think she left.
She left.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just it feels like it drags on too much.
It's
like
definitely
they're
overstayed.
Copying the Avengers. They've got too many characters and they just can't keep up to their goal.
Well,
like my biggest issue, they'll introduce a character, get you fond of them, and then they'll
kill them off.
Right? It's like, oh, I've seen this character like 2 episodes, and they're like, dead now.
And then characters you don't care about, some reason just seem to hang around, like Beth.
Right.
Those episodes with Beth.
Well,
Jesus
I like
Christ.
that because they actually gave her something to do,
Yeah.
and then they killed her off after that.
That's what the thing is. Like, it was like 2 seasons of her not doing anything, and then you wanted me to care when she died. That's what hurt me. I'm like, I didn't care.
Those last couple episodes, she's doing something on her own. She's developing character development. She's actually caring about the people around her, and you're like, oh, she could be a really cool kid. Nope, she's dead.
Right.
That's what they do. They build up character development, and then just there you go. You're gone.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Oh, okay. So on to the main
topic. I said, speaking of
today's episode. 45 minutes in.
Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk about Black Widow. That just came out, and we just watched it as a movie. This was supposed to be a movie review episode, or at least since it's an odd number, it's a good movie review this time.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say, it was good. I liked it.
Let's see. This will be a spoiler review of everything, so someone listen. Because I'm not gonna not spoil this because we've all seen it, and if you're listening to this, I would hope you would have seen it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen this like 3 times. So.
Yeah, it's my second watching of it. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I like it more than Captain Marvel. I also don't like Captain Marvel that much. I was trying to think where I'd rank it. It wouldn't be top 10. It'd be in the teens for me. Really enjoy it. What I like about the movie definitely outweighs what I don't like.
Yes.
So, and I thought it was a decent send-off for Black Widow. I think could have been better, but where it led up to, we're going to get more of this later on, and it actually answers some questions that I didn't really think about, which I'll get to that when we talk about it, for different things of just her past that I just never thought of. What do you think, Terrell?
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. There was, just like you said, there was a lot that I liked less than things that I did not like.
Yeah.
You know, I like the idea that there's possibly, more than likely, a character in there that is a full-fledged mutant, which is exciting to me because we're starting to integrate the Fox properties with the MCU now, and that's going to be just fantastic. I mean, if we can get the crossover between mutants and basically the rest of the Marvel continuity.
I mean, X-Men, my favorite group, my favorite superhero team of all.
By far.
And I want to see them in the MCU already.
Exactly.
I'm tired. I'm ready.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, even if it's like brief flashes, you know, a couple cameos here and there, and then they have their own.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I mean, they didn't introduce Spider-Man in his own movie, which was fine.
Right.
I think they could do the same thing for the X-Men.
Right.
And I've been even thinking about it, like little scenarios of what they could do.
Who would be that first?
Oh, that was a scenario in my head. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I would want to see it brought out. Spider-Man No Way Home's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. You know it's a big crossover movie. Mm-hmm. It's already rumored or somewhat confirmed that they're bringing in the original, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield coming in, plus their villains as a Sinister Six. Plus the fact that Charlie Cox's Daredevil is going to be Peter Parker's lawyer. So Peter Parker at this point has been confirmed to be Spider-Man from the end of Far From Home. And I want to see, say Conan O'Brien is just one of those news clips of them talking about, oh, this little kid is Spider-Man. So say Conan O'Brien is interviewing this professor, who's bald and obviously just sitting in a chair, and it's explaining how is this kid an enhanced individual just bringing up superpowers, and I want to see that bald dude just say something. Oh, maybe it's just a mutation. I would prefer, just throw that into a nod, You know, just say like on a talk show, just I would prefer the term mutation and branched off of that, and then boom, there's that 2-second nod that the X-Men are now in here. And that's what I would like to see. I mean, you're already having a movie full of crossovers anyway. Might as well throw something cool like that in there.
Exactly.
I mean, I know Spider-Man's not a mutant,
Right.
but something that would throw the media off in that way, like, oh no, it's perfectly normal to have people with superpowers at this point, and then just like throw the word mutation and like just throw it out there, I think would just blow my mind away. Just a little Xavier cameo there. Triumph him. The way I feel like
Stewart or McAvoy.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know, it doesn't even have to be them, it could be an entirely new actor.
Mark Strong. I don't know. I said he should have been Lex Luthor in the films, and then we got Jesse Eisenberg.
I don't know. I'd like to think that
Mark Strong is perfect, okay? He's perfect for a badass ball guy.
I know we're getting a little off topic, but just to throw this out there, I would like them to show the X-Men join the MCU as fresh as possible. Like, it's starting to become new in the MCU that people with powers are coming about. Mm-hmm. This is probably the origin story of X-Men. It's not that they're already there like they are in the movies. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is going to be leading up to their school forming and everybody being young and fresh and not experienced soldiers. If that makes sense. That's how I feel like they're going to bring it in. I don't even think it's going to be like it might be a multiverse thing, but I would prefer it not to be.
Yeah.
But,
certainly.
Just with superheroes being kind of still a fresh thing within the last, 15 years in the MCU timeline, it would make sense for this to be something that's new to the world.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Black Widow.
Yeah, I'd say
that was a little rant there.
Probably my solid favorite thing about it was Florence Pugh's performance as Yelena Belova. She knocked it right on out.
Oh yeah, she everybody's losing their mind over her right now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the pacing of the movie. It doesn't really drag as much
just like
as it
one
does
thing
in
after
some
another.
Right. Like there's not too much action in one area. There's not not enough in certain areas. There's not too much in the way of them trying to pull on your heartstrings at all times. I mean, they did save family enough to get Vin Diesel run for his money, but
yeah, no kidding there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I said one thing is that it does bring up, even though it's such like slight though, is when they talk about the Red Room of Black Widow thinking that it was destroyed. Like, she thought she killed him, so that's why she never brings that up in any of the movies. Like, well, she's got this whole past. Why wouldn't she bring it up? Like, she thought it was over. Yeah. She didn't actually think it was still going on. Because, like, when Florence was like, yeah, I figured you would have brought Captain America and they would just ended this stuff. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, if she would have known, yeah, obviously the Avengers would have came in, wrecked house, called it a day.
Right.
I mean, they bring that up in the film as well. Like, yeah, like, no one's going to kill you. Because then one of the big ones comes, I mean, Hulk shows up. I mean,
yeah,
really not much. Yeah, it's not much happening at that point.
Hulk. They did save a helicarrier barely, but
yeah.
Well, they with them not going after them so quickly, it was kind of fortunate for them, because she would have still probably been under the mind control at that point, and with no antidote.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so that would have saved her.
That was kind of a saving grace.
Yeah. Which.
Although, like, the villain did have a backup plan in case Black Widow did come back, which was Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Which basically all that was the only reason Taskmaster was made was to be a backup plan in case she ever came back, because they knew she would kill him.
Like, I don't like the fact that Taskmaster is relegated to being like a almost like a bodyguard or a watchdog.
Yeah.
Well,
Taskmaster was Taskmaster was his own person, not a backup.
See, I don't mind like the origin behind like how she becomes Spoiler, it's the guy's daughter. How she becomes that, but the fact that she's not her own person, that she's like controlled, and then also the fact that like at the end they she's no longer mind controlled, and I guess she's good. I'm like, no, she should still not like these motherfuckers. Right. She should still be a bad guy. Right. They don't make Taskmaster a good person.
Let's talk about that, because I brought this up after we watched this.
Yeah.
So, Taskmaster is coming out with a can of whoop ass on everybody. Mm-hmm. And she was about to just beat down on Black Widow, and Black Widow throws out that antidote, and boom, she's good, and she lays down. And then it seems like she's so injured she can't get back up. Like, what part of what happened? I mean, she's a super soldier at this point, right?
I mean, she's so like a cyborg somewhere.
Yeah, so, like,
the technical would be
why was she crippled at the end of that? That's what I didn't get. Unless she was just so mind controlled that she's just fighting through the pain because she's supposed to.
Yeah.
And then just second when the mind control cuts off, the pain kicks in. Could be something. I don't know. I mean, that makes sense. It didn't make sense for a defeat to me.
Because, like, we don't know the extent of her injuries ever.
That too.
Because, like, they show that she's blown up inside of a building, and you see almost superficial scars on her face.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess as a mind-controlled cyborg, she could give Red Guardian a run for his money. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
So, does she have implants? Cybernetic implants? I mean, there's all sorts of...
And were those cybernetic implants only controlled by what was controlling her? And the second that mind control goes away, those implants just kind of shut down.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's not explained.
No.
That's my whole thing with it.
That's just my theory at this point.
If the fact that she
just kind of shuts down once she's defeated, and they're like, oh, I'm alive. Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
The problem is they put Taskmaster in there to put butts in seats, but didn't really actually have anything to do with the character.
I would like to say that there could be some development later on in future Marvel installments to bring Taskmaster back. Could still be her, could still be that character. Just now that she's woke and her own mind, she could start building up a plan. I mean, she probably still has that predictive powers to how she was made, so she could just use that as her advantage.
Yeah, the mimicking. I just need Taskmaster to run the Moon Knight and them have that conversation from the comic books, because that is amazing conversation. Taskmaster pretty much says like Moon Knight's the only person that he won't mimic in his fights because he likes getting hit in the face too much. Like Moon Knight has no problem with someone hitting him in the face, so he said, I'm not doing that.
And then they also did a Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and explained that Taskmaster could not physically mimic Deadpool just because he is so unpredictable. So which makes sense because it's Deadpool. I'm not mad about that.
And it's also, they say also I think the whole pain and regeneration. Like if you're not worried about like your arm getting cut off because it's just gonna heal, you're gonna fight a little bit different from someone who is worried about that.
He fights, his arm gets cut off and he keeps fighting and then it grows back. So I mean, and Taskmaster can't exactly mimic that. Although I would like to see in a future What If story after they get the X-Men involved, probably I'm guessing 3-4 years from now, make a What If 3-part episode of Deadpool kills Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Well, the What If series does come out in a couple of weeks. It's
coming out soon, because Loki just ended.
I think that's technically Chadwick Boseman's last role.
It is.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
because that is his voice. They had him record that already. So rest in peace, Chadwick.
Boseman. Yep. I did really enjoy the chemistry between just the main four that you got in that family, because especially just the conversations at the dinner table where they're all talking, and they're all like going back and forth. There's not a lot of
like a family.
There's not a lot of like even
these guys know each other.
Yeah. Not like even a lot of movies where you get like 4 people can go like back and forth with each other, and it actually feels like, okay, this is a real conversation.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just feels like, okay, these guys wouldn't actually hang out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the conversations they had in The Last Airbender.
Yeah, good God.
That was our last episode, man.
Good God.
And they did not feel like they were even talking to each other.
No, which I think someone brought up is some of their scenes actually in Last Airbender, they weren't actually filmed together.
I didn't
like they were like camera angles, like they'd be like me talking, and then you would do yours like a day later, and then that was our conversation.
I was just
it's why there's weird pauses.
That's probably what they were doing, because that's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. I actually saw like they were talking about some behind the scenes, like they would like film like 2 people talking to each other, but at different times. Yeah, so because it's like they didn't know how to like change the camera angles. It's like just had one camera. Like, okay, we're gonna film one of you guys at once, and we're gonna do a close up here. So you're not gonna be there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, it's M Night Shyamalan. But
Did that for his kids.
yeah, fuck him. Okay, back to Black Widow.
Back to Black Widow.
I did enjoy a lot of the action, just the hand-to-hand fight, especially the first Black Widow versus Taskmaster. That fight scene was awesome.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. Just you get the little bit of the mimicking of different people and all that. I thought it was great. As soon as and always every fight that's on a bridge, you know that someone's falling off that bridge.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I know where this is going. As soon as she was losing, like she's gonna end up in the water. But that's
It was
just
cool, though.
that's just a movie trope.
They made it work.
Yeah.
I think they
What
made it work.
what makes Black Widow like very difficult in my opinion to film is that you have guns, and the nature of guns is that they make very big messes, and she's proficient with all these weapons, and it's like, how do you get a movie that you can potentially have children sit here and watch and have all these legit guns in here?
I think that's why they went more of the wrist gauntlet things.
That's
Right.
That's one of the things I liked about the movie. It was a much darker tone than most of the Marvel movies out there.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it starts off very dark.
Yeah, and I liked that about it. It was different. And like you just said, she uses a bunch of guns in her. That's probably what she used the energy wrist thingies for.
Right.
Like it's one of the most like I don't say eerie, but I'll go with that. Like eerie scenes in like the MCU is just once we get the flashback, it's over and it's like showing through like everything that her and like her sister and all those other girls were going through, like dealing with that at the beginning when it's doing the opening credits. Like yeah, that's a fucked up like deal there.
Yeah,
Like it's
no kidding.
yeah, like they're taking these children and pretty much taking them from their families and like putting them through this training, and then like only 1 out of 20 even live.
Right.
And it shows by the end how many of them actually made it through. So that's how many other girls had died.
How many
Yeah, 'cause
active
it was
widows
like,
are out?
Yeah.
Natasha and her sister were adopted from 2 other families and raised by the Red Guardian,
Yeah.
who had to adopt these kids as an undercover mission to look like a normal Ohio family.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to Ohio.
Shout out to Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 1995.
Yeah.
I was born.
I wasn't born until 98.
Yeah, it was football season, so yeah, 95. I was just born April. So yeah, I made us a couple months.
Okay.
83.
Old man.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think.
The youngest one here. The youngest one that's ever been on this show so far.
Yeah. For now.
For now.
Right.
For now.
And subject to change.
Yeah. Trying to think what was the other big talking point with the film. They said I do like that the Red Room stuff was still going on. They said it did explain why she didn't go after them.
Yeah.
Because she thought it was
just didn't know.
done. We got a little bit with Budapest.
Budapest.
Yeah, Budapest, whatever.
Budapest. They had a whole conversation
Yeah, how that's pronounced.
Yeah, I thought it was Budapest.
Yeah.
No, it's Budapest.
So
She just kept going to Budapest while everyone else said Budapest.
Yeah.
I don't need Natasha coming to find me, so I'll just say Budapest.
Yeah. So I like it did get explained at least a little bit of what exactly. I mean, it got explained what happened, but we just don't get to really delve into it. It's like, she killed the guy with the bomb, and then her and Hawkeye had to hide out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, I want a little bit more, like a little bit more detail. What exactly
I want another
was going
movie
on.
with her and Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's what everybody wanted, originally when it happened, and for some reason those two kept getting pushed back, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like
because I thought the original Black Widow movie was gonna be an origin story, but then all of a sudden it changed to a post Civil War story.
yeah, well, when they announced the film, it's like, it's coming on after Endgame. I'm like, okay, well, she's definitely gonna live. No, she's dead. Like,
and
so
then
where
it
does that
came
leave
out
this
that
one?
it's an origin story.
Yeah.
And then after the pandemic calmed down, it came out that it was a post Civil War story.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think it comes to like almost with like this whole Snake Eyes thing, is you don't all the way need the origin of it. You can just say she was trained as a kid as an assassin.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pick up the pieces from there.
Yeah. They kind of went over it in
the way
prior films. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But
You get a little bit.
The way Black Widow was introduced first in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And she wasn't that important at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason they made her an origin story was because of her significance in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, what she became.
Yeah, and then like I can tell, Marvel is trying to also branch out their side characters to be main characters, which is what WandaVision's been, which is what Falcon and Winter Soldier's been about. So having a Black Widow movie just kind of fits in with that.
Yeah.
And then Loki as well, but we're not going to talk about Loki until the next episode.
Yeah.
It's already over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's over.
It's
now.
over. It's,
yeah, it was only
have
6
you watched
episodes.
it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All three of us have watched it.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, confused for a minute. I'm like, wait, there's another one?
Yeah, no, 7th episode, secret. Go check it. No, I'm good.
it's on the dark webs.
Yeah.
Oh, so please don't. I do not want to see when I look up Loki.
On the dark web.
You'd find out that probably Loki's real on the dark web. So
that's what I'm saying. There's probably all sorts of horse crap on there too.
Yeah. Oh,
Those
God.
horse
Literal horse.
There's both the horse crap, and conspiracies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dark web opens up.
Just like I don't.
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I was just gonna mention the whole stuff that happened with Space Jam 2 and the Lola Bunny. Lola Bunny stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know this completely.
The memes all about it was like, oh, they're changing up Lola Bunny's look, but the picture they kept using was off of a porn parody.
Well, I heard different people talk about like, oh, they're mad they changed her so she's not like as like
but she
sexy
never looked like that
as she was in Space Jam. And dude's like the internet doesn't exist, dude. If you're really upset, I'm pretty sure you can find those pictures you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Black Widow.
Yeah.
So no, I know keep going off topic, but I really enjoyed what the film did and what it set up for the future, because
it connected to Falcon and Winter Soldier pretty well.
Connected to Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's going to connect in with Hawkeye.
Which means
it's going to connect into a lot.
This has actually
in the
been
future.
the first show to movie crossover. The spoiler alert, post-credit scene of Black Widow actually connected to the Falcon and Winter Soldier pretty well. And this was actually the first time they've connected a show to the movie.
Yeah, which I was actually spoiled on that. I don't know if you remember during the Falcon and Winter Soldier review when we were talking about it, how I said there is a character that shows up in Falcon and Winter Soldier that shows up in Black Widow.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be like the second. That was supposed to be like a big reveal, and it was her at the end. So I knew that she was in there, and as soon as I see her recruit U.S. agent, I'm like, oh, well, who's the obvious person that she would be recruiting in Black Widow? It's Yelena. So I was like, okay, so I know she lives. So just by hearing that character was in there, I'm like, okay, well, if she's recruiting people, there's an obvious person in there for her to recruit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And where that could lead. Also, being that it was like, I don't say like, not a prequel, but being that it was in the past, they left a lot of characters alive. Because usually if it's like, oh, this happened beforehand, a lot of those characters are dead.
They kind of had.
They left everybody alive.
Yeah,
so
you
I don't
can see everybody return at a later date.
Gives you all sorts of potential right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things they brought up was at the beginning of the movie, when they introduced Red Guardian and he was talking about fighting Captain America.
Yeah.
And he was probably active in, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So I read an article that, because he broke the dude's arm over the fact that he corrected him. Oh, Captain America was in ice at the time. He broke the dude's arm. He was probably fighting Isaiah Bradley, who was introduced in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well,
just have to throw that one out there.
I think that's a possibility, or it could be somebody else, because Isaiah Bradley was in prison. Right? It was during, the Korean War? So taking place when the Korean War was what, 60, 70? When was the Korean War?
I forget.
I want to say 60. Well, he was in prison for, 40 years?
Yeah.
So it might not have been him. It might have been whoever was after. Because the way he said, because I figured when he was still talking, oh, he's just talking shit, like, oh, yeah, I fought Captain America and this, and that. But then when he talks to Black Widow, he asks, like, no, did he talk about me? I think, and also I would assume he would realize that Captain America is white and Isaiah Bradley wasn't, that it would be two different people.
Yeah, true.
But also he's in prison, so he might just be hearing stories about the Avengers. Might not actually have physically seen him, because I don't know how well, if he's getting, good TV service out there.
Then again, how old is Red Guardian? They never really get through an age on it.
No?
And
Wait, I'm just saying, I would assume
super
80s.
soldiers don't exactly age that well. I mean,
Yeah.
Isaiah's the only one we've seen age.
Yeah. Well, we saw he gets locked up in the 90s, so I would assume he fought him in the 80s.
Which could be a possibility.
Yeah, because I mean he is aged in the film.
Yeah.
But Cap could just Cap does age, but he just could be an outlier on that. Because I mean he did age, but he just, with him being frozen, his body I guess would have just stored him. But they said so it could either be Isaiah Bradley or it could be somebody else. There's somebody else with a super soldier running around out there. That is a possibility. I just don't know who that could be.
Anything's a possibility at this point. I mean, we have like 4 Captain Americas right now. So.
Yeah. And just about everyone's has some form of that serum somewhere.
Yeah, they've tried to remake
Captain
it so many times.
4.
Right.
4.
That's how they brought up the whole Hulk thing, was about them trying to remake the super soldier thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I did like that they do Red Guardian, because the Russian super soldier, because yeah, obviously once Captain America's made, every other country's gonna want to make their own super soldier.
Right.
Especially how successful Cap was.
I just love how they just name dropped the Crimson Dynamo in there. It's amazing to me.
It was Red Guardian.
Oh, the accents. Oh, I love the breakout of that Russian prison.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't make a scene. He's fucking making a scene.
He was already making this.
Yeah.
When she told him.
He's like, oh, I can get out of here. I'm hitting everybody.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody would definitely get a chin check.
Man.
Yeah. Red Guardian's trying to escape.
I think the most thing I respect Red Guardian in this movie the most because he had a fresh tattoo on his back.
Yeah, just
Throughout
getting it
everything
done.
he was doing. He slammed his back a couple times too in that movie too, and yeah, I respect him for pulling through.
Yeah, getting it done as he's just telling old war stories.
Right.
Yeah,
But I was fighting Captain America. Yeah, that's great.
Like, tattoos are sensitive when they're fresh.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I've got a shit ton of them. We'll talk about. I was actually just thinking about it as we were talking. And I know we were trying to predict where this is gonna lead and where, Yelena getting picked up at the end about possibly making a team Dark Avengers. I just thought about a character that we're actually gonna get reintroduced in the next movie, which is Shang-Chi, is a character that if they didn't want to do Red Skull, who's out there, and that is Abomination.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do a team.
I was just gonna say Abomination.
That character is out there.
He is alive.
So I don't know if that could be a possible team measure.
Too.
Yeah, he's canon. He's out there. I mean, he ain't doing much. I mean, we'll see what happens in Shang-Chi.
He's changed a little, but
Yeah, because I think that's what they should do is through these next films, if they are building up a team, is pretty much take a character from each one.
So yeah, I was actually reading Shang-Chi is supposed to cross over with a lot of Marvel characters we just haven't seen more of. So like, it's going to do a lot of connections to Phase 1 and 2. For example, the Ten Rings organization is the same organization that kidnapped Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. But obviously, he's going to fight Abomination. There could be something else in there we don't. That was early on that could be thrown in there as well.
Just put in the leader. They teased him.
That's what everybody wants is the leader.
Yeah.
They teased him. Just go ahead and throw him out there.
I mean, that he could be the villain for the She-Hulk film. She-Hulk series. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, we know
That'd be pretty
we
cool.
know Mark Ruffalo's in there. We know she's gonna become She-Hulk within that
Is that
deal.
the same Betty Banner from The Incredible Hulk?
No, She-Hulk is a different person.
That's Red She-Hulk.
That's Red She-Hulk. She-Hulk is actually Bruce Banner's cousin.
Jennifer Walters.
Yeah.
Isn't Betty Banner Bruce Banner's cousin also?
No.
No.
That's his love interest.
Yeah, his love
That's
interest.
Thunderbolt
That
Ross's
was his
daughter.
Yeah, Betty Ross.
I knew
Yeah.
that. I knew, yeah.
It's been a while since
Right. It's been a
anybody's
while
seen
since I
that
know.
film. No one really goes back to that one, even though
I
as
thought
good
in
as a
the
film that
comics,
is.
Bruce
I
Banner
remember
has
it.
some sort of weird ancestral thing.
That's Old Man Logan.
Yeah, it's Old Man Logan. He bangs She-Hulk, and they have a bunch of weird Hulk kids.
Okay, so
I-
that's
I
where
put
my
that out
mind.
of mine.
I've read
Yeah.
Old Man Logan, and that's where my mind was going.
I've read
thought
that
Betty was
too.
his cousin.
That's one of those weird parts of kind we don't talk about. Same with the whole Gwen
Yeah,
Stacy
the
twins.
The inbred,
Oh,
the
the
inbred
original
redneck
sin?
Hulk.
Yeah, we don't talk
Yeah.
about Gwen Stacy and her twins either.
Yeah.
But-
Or Scarlet Witches and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
God damn it, that was. Oh no, the Old Man Logan was more recent, but that was like early 2000s, 90s, where it got really weird.
Yeah.
It got really weird there for a minute. I'm like, God damn it, guys. And Game of Thrones is bringing it back. Like,
Right.
fucking Christ.
Well,
It's out there. It's Sweet Home Alabama. No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry if we're gonna offend the Alabamans.
I'm sorry.
Do you guys
Alabama.
even have the internets? I'm sorry. Just waiting for that tornado to take out the governor's mansion and wipe out the whole trailer park. You know what I'm saying?
Alabama's just one big trailer park.
It is. Just be honest about it. People in Alabama are like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Just smells like incest and meth out here.
jeez.
I'm sorry if I offended the people from Alabama.
Oh, jeez.
Goddamn. But
Please don't come find me, guys.
Yeah, you throw
Oh,
a
Don't track me down.
You throw a rock out in Alabama and someone's related. No.
yeah. But no, really. Yeah, Yelena. She stole it. She stole the movie. Florence Pugh kind of killed that whole role.
By far.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the highlight. I wish they would kind of gave Scarlett a little bit more to do, but I felt like as the movie's going on, like we know she's dying.
Right.
We know, so we gotta set something up.
Yeah.
We have to
So I feel like
replace her
Yelena
with somebody
might be-
that's gonna be really.
She'll
Yeah.
probably be that replacement.
Yeah. Which that's gonna be interesting to see like where that goes. Like, will she? Because it looks like she's probably gonna be an antagonist for Hawkeye for a minute. Does she become good? And also like,
And she fights the same way as Black Widow.
yeah,
And well,
You could just
Hawkeye
call her
still
Black
had that
Widow and it'll be
haircut.
good.
yeah. Well, that was an old picture.
Wasn't Hawkeye gonna have his own series?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
They've already started filming. They've already cast a couple people. They cast Kate Bishop, which that's gonna be nice. So I think she'll probably end up taking over for him. Which I mean, Yelena could be the one that kills him. I don't think she would because I think she's way too liked in this film for her to stay a bad guy, quote unquote. If they do a Dark Avengers or something like that.
Right.
So it's gonna kind of make the next Avengers film interesting because I would assume she'd be a part of that team of just all these new faces we're about to just get a bunch of.
All new, all different.
Oh God, yeah. That was cool for like a year, and then that did not go well. The Marvel comics, they kept doing like these reboots. It was like Marvel Now, then like all new Marvel, all new, all different Marvel, and they kept just renumbering stuff, and we kept trying new things.
It's always with the number ones.
Yeah.
That's what sells.
I feel
Yeah,
like in 20 years from now, we'll just have a new group of Avengers that's just going to be young Avengers teaching new Avengers. We're going to
Okay,
get all
then.
those young heroes, and then we're going to get those young and dumb heroes.
well, I mean, Young Avengers wise, they've already set up 3 characters, and with a 4th one on the way. So
Yeah.
actually, 4th and 5th one on the way.
Which characters?
Well, they've already set up Patriot, where they got him in Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's Isaiah Bradley's grandson.
Yeah.
And then you got Wiccan and Speed, which is
Oh yeah. Wanda's.
Wanda's kids.
kids.
So that's 3, and then they have already officially announced a Miss Marvel and a Ironheart series.
Yeah.
So that's 5 of
That's
a
5.
younger group coming out. I just hope before they eventually kill off Spider-Man, because I feel like by the 4th film he's probably gonna die. Peter Parker is.
I don't think
It's-
Peter
I
Parker's
want him
going to
to-
die anytime soon. I feel
Well-
like he's going to wait, because Tom Holland is really committed to
Yeah.
this.
Well, I'm hoping if Thor gets 4 films, Spider-Man better get 5.
Yeah, the way I think is it's going to be, since we're on Phase 4,
Yeah.
you already, based on the ending of Loki, we already know Phase 4 is going to end with Ant-Man and Quantumania, Ant-Man, Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
Not going to throw any spoilers on Loki until next episode.
Yeah.
But that's just what that leads to. And if that's the end of Phase 4, we already know Fantastic Four is coming right after. Coming a bigger villain after that. Because that's what I'm just... theory-wise, I feel like Ant-Man is going to end what they're leading up to. Fantastic Four is going to build up to the next branch of things. But, back to Spider-Man, I feel like Spider-Man's going to last a couple of phases. He's going to be
I would
the
hope
next
he does.
big death.
Basically,
If the big sacrifice.
he's gonna die, and that's gonna be a huge lead
It's
up
gonna
to
be
that
like
death.